Hello and welcome to the session on liberal education. In liberal education, an individual is trained to use their reason or rational thinking for taking independent decisions. This is through the inculcation of values, ethics, and a combination of basic knowledge in various subjects. He or she will thus be able to uphold the notion of freedom in terms of independent decision making. The finished product of liberal education is a cultured human being. It helps to formulate one's own opinion freely over various matters. In short, liberal education teaches an individual the arts of listening, speaking, writing, thinking, and observation. Literally, liberal education is that one liberates a person from ignorance and oppression. Literacy is the prime component in liberal education. Liberal education became prominent from the 19th century onwards. It was invariably connected to liberalism, the golden child of the Enlightenment era. Liberalism upholds freedom of speech, freedom for religion, liberty, and equal rights for individuals. Before this period, the existing societal relationships were based on the idea of hereditary status and monarchy of established religions. Enlightenment is a path-breaking era in the Western philosophy of the 18th century. By this era, the rational or scientific thinking was the determinant of an independent individual's intellectual, cultural, and social engagement. Reason or rationality upholds the freedom of an individual. This is inculcated through liberal education. It critically questions the traditional institutions, customs, and morals of its predecessors. Liberal education has close relation with the medieval concept of liberal arts. Rational thought and general knowledge on various subjects are the important components of liberal education. Its main proponents are John Henry Newman, F. D. Maurice, and Sir Wilfred Griffin Edey. It is considered that an individual requires liberal education to emancipate him or her from lack of freedom. The root of liberal education extends to the slave-owning period, where there was a clear divide between slaves and owners of the slaves. The owners were treated as freemen who were capable enough to bother about their rights, obligations, and responsibilities as citizens, and they attained these qualities through liberal arts education. Following are the main goals of liberal education: to develop social responsibility in an individual or student, to enable an individual in making independent decisions through rational thought, to give a broad range of knowledge and information to the student, to empower an individual in dealing with issues and changes, to improve communication skill, to develop analytical and problem-solving skills. In brief, liberal education develops free human beings who are capable enough to think and use their minds for themselves and for other human beings. Its primary aim is not to develop professional competence among students. It intends to develop analytical skill, effective communication, practical skills, ethical judgment, and social responsibility. Liberal education enriches an individual with broad knowledge and skills which can be transferred to others. It helps an individual to become open-minded and conscious of his or her own opinions and judgments. An educated individual will be reflective of her actions and will be aware of their social status and social responsibilities. They will also be critical of their traditions. Another important motive of liberal education is to create an active citizenship, that is, to create a sense of belonging, obligations, and responsibilities in relation with the state and fellow human beings. Curriculum of liberal education. The curriculum of liberal education starts from literature and languages and extends to history, philosophy, humanities, science, mathematics, and moral values. It is something more than studying a specific course or field of study. It includes a general curriculum with broad openings to different disciplines. It also upholds individualism, the duty or responsibility of a person that can be understood through reason or rationality. In short, it teaches modesty, morality, and social order on individual basis. Liberal education is different from professional and technical education because it does not focus on a specialized stream. In professional education, students get a chance to go for a more pragmatic and job-oriented course. In liberal education, one gets a chance to study a general or basic course that provides broad knowledge and communication skills. This is through the inclusion of moral values, ethics, languages, literature, and general knowledge. But liberal education prepares an individual to go for a higher study in a specific area or in a professional field. It's also different from vocational education. In this type of education, a student is equipped with a particular job-oriented skill. In liberal education, there is no direct job-oriented skill, but there are indirect capabilities such as language, communication skills, etc., which help a student to acquire a job. There are 4 stages in liberal education, and all of them are at non-university level. 1. Primary level. 2. Secondary level. 3. High school level. 4. Higher secondary level. For a child, the primary level starts at an age of 5 years from the first standard and extends up to 10 years, ending in the 5th standard. The upper primary starts from 6th standard and ends up in 8th standard. The high school level includes 9th and 10th standard, and the next 2 years cover the higher secondary level. Earlier, the higher secondary levels of 2 years were attached with colleges as the pre-university period, as pre-degree course. Now, it's attached with the higher secondary school level itself. The primary education starts at an age of 5 years with an exposure to vernacular alphabets, words, sentence, and basic mathematics, science, and social history. Secondary and higher secondary education exposes the students into specific courses of science, social science, and humanities. This stage is used to provide the students a sense of history along with an idea of their obligations, constitutional rights, and responsibilities as citizens. After higher secondary level, a student can opt for a specialized course as per her or his choice and qualification obtained in the preceding level. This is known as higher education. Liberal education includes formal and non-formal education, but does not include informal education. In informal education, the learning is happening through informal life situations and environment. Liberal education requires a formal space of school or college and a structure for its dissemination of knowledge. It has a formal way of interacting with the students or learners. Here, knowledge passes on from a teacher or a learned person to the students or learners. But there are non-formal spaces through which liberal education, or rather conscientization programs of uneducated are conveyed. Literacy program and library movement are some examples of these non-formal spaces of liberal education. Liberal education can combine both vocational and technical streams of education in it. For instance, the technical high schools that teaches select skills to the students from 8th standard onwards includes both liberal education and technical education. And the vocational higher secondary education that focuses on skills in various specialized fields also teaches non-vocational education, which gives the students a broad general knowledge on various subjects. Scholars argue that liberal education and technical education are not two types of educational practices, but two tendencies with different functions. Vocational education. Vocational education system has two components, vocational education and vocational training. It is often known as technical education or vocational technical education. Vocational education. It is a higher secondary level education offered for the 11th and 12th classes. In 1983-84, vocational education becomes a formal school-based and organized learning system, but it commences way back in 1976-77 under the program of vocationalization of higher secondary education. It is envisaged as a primary apprenticeship at the high school level at par with the labor needs of the market. Following are the objectives of vocational education: to reduce the mismatch between the demand and supply of skilled manpower, to enhance individual employability and reduce unemployment, to provide an alternative for those who pursue higher education without any interest and purpose, to enforce a skill culture. Vocational education has multiple roles. It gave a broad general knowledge to the student. At the same time, it opens up a door to higher education. Simultaneously, it imparts expertise in skill or job-oriented courses through practical training in specific vocations. The initial intention of this innovative attempt in the education sector was to make linkages between VHS institutions and industries or companies. The skill and training in many courses of vocational education is conveyed in collaboration with different departments. Vocational higher secondary schools teach vocational courses. The significant characteristics of vocational education can be summarized as follows. Vocational education links education and training with the economic life of a society. It provides both vocational and non-vocational education. It enables a student to choose between employment and higher education. It provides skills which in turn help a student to initiate self-employment. Vocational training. This refers to certificate level training courses meant for school dropouts from class 8th to 12th. Vocational training programs fall outside the formal schooling system and is a pre-employment training or on-job training. Here, the practical and theoretical training are intense than that in vocational education. The important difference of vocational training from vocational education is that non-vocational courses are not part of this training. The student or the trainee is only equipped with a specific kind of training or skill in one or two specific areas. Vocational training is managed by the National Council for Vocational Training (NCVT), which is chaired by the Minister of Labour and Employment. Informal vocational training offers flexibility in participation in terms of entry and the period of training. A few examples of vocational training courses are craft training, aluminum fabrication, carpentry, computer hardware training, fish processing, accountancy and auditing. Informal and non-formal educational institutions provide courses on vocational training. It is an emerging mode of skill training meant for formal and informal job sectors and self-employment. Vocational education and training is being offered by government and non-governmental institutions such as ITIs, industrial training centers, polytechnics, national open schools, open universities, computer centers, etc. While vocational education caters to the need of regular school-going students, vocational training caters to the need of a wide range of groups. This includes traditional artisans, craftsmen, neo-literates, unskilled and semi-skilled workers, socially disadvantaged groups, and people with certain disabilities. Vocational education and vocational training cater for distinct types of students. 1. The students of higher secondary schools. 2. Dropouts of higher secondary schools who need an economic base to survive. 3. Those who pass higher secondary and want to pursue technical education. 4. Employed persons who want to improve their skills. The main agencies influencing vocational education and training: Ministry of Labor and Employment, Directorate General of Employment and Training, National Council for Vocational Training, Labor Bureau and the Ministry of Human Resource Development, All India Council for Technical Education. More than 150 courses are teaching in different states under the broad area of agriculture, business, commerce, engineering and technology, health and paramedical, home science and humanities. Indira Gandhi National Open University (IGNOU) has offered an open and distance learning system for providing vocational training in footwear sector. The National Institute of Open Schooling (NIOS) also pioneers vocational education through distance learning mode and accredited vocational institutes. NIOS also runs special accredited schools for the education of disabled people. These non-formal sector courses consist of self-learning material supporting audio-video programs, teleconferencing, counseling sessions, etc., with personal contact program to meet specific learner needs. Non-formal vocation education is a boon to the students who are not able to attend schools in a regular basis. Higher education. Higher education is imparted through universities, colleges, academies, and Institute of Technologies. In higher education, a student can gain in-depth knowledge in select disciplines through any of these institutions. A student can also opt for a career-oriented specialized course or skill-based learning through technical institutions. Though higher and professional education has a relation with liberal education, in content and form it differs from liberal education. It is a higher level of specialized and career-oriented course. A student needs the basic liberal education up to higher secondary level in order to select a professional course such as engineering, medicine, etc., or opt for higher education in humanities, science, mathematics, etc. Higher education is at the university level. It is possible only after completing the primary, secondary, high school and higher secondary level of non-university education. In the higher education, a student has the opportunity to participate in knowledge production along with knowledge dissemination. Up to higher secondary level, the focus is only for the dissemination of knowledge. Universities and institutes of technologies play a crucial role in the economic development of a nation through the production of human capital. Universities are seen as the conscience of a society because Most of the radical and innovative movements had started from there. A student can attain higher education through formal education institutions or non-formal institutions. Various educational institutions controlled by different universities provide the opportunity for formal education in the professional sector. Open university system and distance learning system provide the opportunity for non-formal education in the higher sector. Following are examples of some professional courses in the higher education sector. MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. BTech, Bachelor of Technology. BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration. MBA, Master of Business Administration. MCA, Master of Computer Application. In India, most of the key educational institutions and statutory bodies for regulating higher education was set up after independence in the 1960s. The University Grants Commission (UGC) that controls the higher education was formed in 1956. UGC sets the norms and rules for structuring the higher education. Though education at the primary, upper primary and high school levels are a combination of knowledge in different subjects including science and social science, the gap between science, humanities and technical education is more wider in the higher education level. Science acquires a more privileged position over other disciplines such as humanities. Indian Institute of Technology (IIT), Indian Institute of Science (IISc), Indian Institute of Science Education and Research (IISER), Indian Institute of Management (IIM), etc. are some of the eminent professional educational institutions in India. The important and well-known central universities are Jawaharlal Nehru University (JNU), Delhi University (DU), Osmania University (OU), Jamia Millia University and Hyderabad Central University. Apart from this, a large number of state universities and autonomous technical and professional institutions are also functioning to teach higher education. India has the honor to have the third largest system of higher education in the world. The first two positions are for the United States and China. Besides this privilege, India has the largest academic system in the third world. Universities. In the medieval period, universities were run as monastic schools as part of religious institutions. In the European universities, Latin was the language used for teaching, and in India, Sanskrit and Persian took the prestigious role for teaching and learning in the higher educational institutions. Most of the universities were upgraded from the existing schools and colleges. When Northern European universities focused on arts and theology, the Italian universities gave preference to law and medicine. By the 14th century, there was a huge growth in the universities in the European countries. But by 17th century, because of recurring wars and contagious diseases, universities in the West encountered with crisis. Coming to India, Nalanda and Takshashila were the oldest, well-known, organized and well-structured scholastic centers. In India, the University of Calcutta, the first modern university, was founded on 24th January 1857. It was termed as modern because it gives an importance in the Western learning system based on liberal education. The other two universities founded in the 19th century are the University of Bombay and the University of Madras. After independence, the universities are brought under a centralized governmental agency in order to control and monitor higher education system. IITs. The Indian Institutes of Technology are considered as institutions of world-class excellence. They are a group of technology-oriented institutes in the sector of higher education with autonomous status. They provide training to students who are ambitious to become scientists and engineers. The first IIT of India was inaugurated in 1951 by Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, the first Education Minister of India at Kharagpur. The other major IITs are IIT Mumbai, IIT Chennai, IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi, IIT Guwahati, and IIT Roorkee. These institutes are meant to produce highly efficient technological forces who are capable enough to deal with the developmental areas of India such as dams, power plants, information technology sector, etc. Let me summarize the main ideas in this unit. In this unit, we have discussed liberal education, a short history of it, and different modes of education that comes under the broad umbrella of it. After the primary, secondary, and high school level of education, students can either opt for a direct employment generating education known as vocational education or a higher education in select disciplines. Vocational education is meant for formal school-going students, whereas vocational training is a non-formal education meant for people outside the schools. In the final higher education level, students become the producers of knowledge along with the recipients of knowledge. There are professional institutions of technologies and universities to impart knowledge in the higher education level. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. 1. What are the goals of liberal education? 2. How does liberal education differ from professional education? 3. Which types of students are catered by vocational education and vocational training? 4. What are the differences between vocational education and vocational training? Let me suggest a few books and websites for your reference. National Policy on Education, 1968 and 1992, New Delhi, UGC. Available online at www.ugc.ac.in/policy/npe86.html. Accessed on June 5, 2011. The Voice of Liberal Learning, 1989, Michelle Oakeshott, Yale University Press, Yale. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.